right, so our goals for our groups, we got the next steps here on that. We want to provide a safe environment. That is so important. People have got to feel safe. It's got to be a safe place for them to air their emotions. So what we want them to say is, in their minds and even out loud, I needed to be around people like me, and this group makes me feel safe. So our clients fill out a weekly progress report. They write that down, and quite often we'll see something like that on a note. And these notes that I'm sharing with you are from clients. I needed a place to feel safe. I needed a place where I saw people who were quote unquote like me, and that's very important to the bonding experience. So we want all of our clients in the group to feel like that they're in a safe place. Now, not just a safe place, but a safe place to share their emotions, and their emotions are welcomed within certain boundaries. We don't want people yelling and threatening or causing any kind of. But sometimes people get animated, and they may have a sense of frustration and even anger. That's acceptable. Okay, that may happen, but the environment. See, people need to know when they walk into that room, wherever they've been, whatever they're working with, when they come into the room, they need to know that they're in a good place and feel safe about it. They need to be able to develop behavioral templates. Now, what is a behavioral template? This is kind of my own design. So here's what I expect to happen and what I want them to get in the group. I want them to understand that they can develop, even copy some of the behavior they learn in the room. When they see me as a facilitator react in a calm way to something that may be awkward, then they learn a template. When they see a person share their emotions and become vulnerable, that's a behavioral template. And so shared, so could I. If that person took a chance, then I might be willing to try that. You're always going to have the person in the corner of the room who's just sitting there watching everything. that they're not talking, but they're thinking, and they might be thinking. You just hope that they're going. If this person over here that seems to be like me is doing better, then if I do what they do, I could get better. And so we're providing the people in recovery with examples of both good and bad behavior. So we may have a client come into the room and say, yeah, I failed a drug test at probation and I got to start all over again. That's a bad behavior, but they go, oh, I don't want to do that. So in this group setting, they're going to be sharing both good things and bad things they're going through. And that causes them to develop mental behavioral templates, copies of what they like. Okay, someone said that's an excellent point, learning and modeling behavior. Absolutely, yeah. Now, another type of the behavioral template is that we hope that when the therapist or another group member challenges a behavior, then they learn from that as well, that person did so good. And so, what may happen is that the example of both a positive and a negative behavior can help them connect with what they went through in their family, back to the family and the source of origin on that. Another goal that we have is for us to develop and create mutual support. The group helped me feel that I'm not alone in my struggles. And that is a great thing. So when this individual in that group of 10, 12 people looks around the room and says, well, that one struggles just like I do. And that person's, and they'll even sometimes, before group starts, they'll talk about their court appearance. I got to go to court next week and I don't know, this and that. And sometimes they'll exchange information that helps each other. It might be that they'll, well, listen, when you do, make sure you do this and don't do that. They may have that conversation. So they're helping each other mutually feel that they can support each other. We don't allow, and we certainly discourage people hooking up after group or trying to have a romantic relationship. That's in our boundaries. But they do provide a lot of mutual support to each other. And I've seen that happen quite often where, one person in the room says, well, I could help you with that. We even had a guy once who, the day before, this was on Saturday morning, on Friday night, someone had stolen all of his tools. And he was in construction. And so the Saturday morning group, 2 or 3 of the guys in the group were carpenters and that sort of thing. They said, look, man, I've got an extra this, I've got an extra that. I'll just give you a couple things. And they tried to help replenish a store of tools. That's a great thing. And so what you hope will begin to happen as the group gels is that they will want the best for each other. They want the other people to succeed because they can, if that other person in the group can succeed, then maybe I've got a chance at it. See, if they can get better, I can get better. And then also it makes the emotional support much more effective when they see it exemplified in other people. Another goal is that we're teaching them communication. So, it might be that this individual has never seen modeled before them good communication skills. They've never done that at home with other people. They've never learned that in their family and their source of family of origin. So it might be that when they see other people talking in a healthy way, I learned important communication skills and social skills I couldn't have gotten anywhere else. We've heard that before. And you hope that that will happen. And so those in recovery are relearning social skills, and they're learning how to be a better member of society at large by this microcosm of a smaller group. So group therapy can play a big part in that learning process for social skills and communications. We're trying to help them build confidence. So when you have those clients, and it may be several in the room who have a real challenge with talking, and they have a fear factor, they're just afraid of speaking, much less speaking in a vulnerable way about something that makes them feel vulnerable. So when a person does that, when they take that little inch and they try the waters, the reaction that you and others in the group have is paramount to what they do next. So if this person's been quiet for a couple of weeks, and finally you ask a question, like, they kind of like inch the finger up. I'd like to answer the question. Sure. And they say, well, I just thought A, B, or C. Now, if someone in the group says, oh, that's crazy. Or if you, as a facilitator, say, well, I don't know. What I try to almost always, you never say always, but most of the time, I'm going to say, that's a good thought. And thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate you sharing that. Now, if I feel like it's just a totally wrong answer, I'm not going to tell them that, because that's going to shoot down the confidence that we're building. So I'm going to encourage them. I'll say, well, that's a good answer. And as well, A, B, or C, that I wanted to have the right answer. So if their answer is completely out of line to the topic, or it's not, it doesn't really fit what you're talking about, you don't want to correct the person. You want to build their confidence. So this person said, being in group really boosted my confidence and self-esteem as I interacted with the other members. That's what we want it to do. We want to reduce their stress, guilt, and pain with talking. Some people just are not going to talk. I had one guy in treatment every week just would sit, I'm not exaggerating, sit and stare at me eye to eye the whole hour. And I did get him to open up a few times. I had to trick him into it. But I mean, kind of almost like a scary kind of stare, just staring me down. And then what I found out was when I did get him to answer a few questions, he was thinking, but he sure looked a little scary. But we're trying to lower their anxiety. See, we're trying to lower their feelings of guilt and pain. We're trying to teach them how to avoid destructive behaviors. And we're inspiring them to look at their experience that they've had from maybe a different a little bit of a different perspective as to what other people in the room have had. We're encouraging new and healthy behaviors. We're helping our clients set and accomplish their goals. And then finally, what we're doing is we're teaching them, they're learning to overcome that risk factor.